So, we are coming at you today with a special mini episode. I don't have a lot of new pearls of wisdom to drop on you, but I'm hoping that you will hang out with me anyway because I want to update you on some amazing things that are happening here at Genevieve Digital in service of this do better digital way that we've been talking about all season long. And I am really excited. I think I said that already, but I am really excited to bring these to you because one of the things that's been a challenge for us over the past year, as we've talked about before, the business has really exploded really fast, which is great, but also creates some new challenges, is being able to provide things for free or very low cost to those who are maybe not ready to work with us yet or want to go a more DIY route, and to provide things that are more helping with leadership in this area. And we're covering both of those in this mini episode. And then next week, we will be back with the only interview of this season. I've invited former guest Stephanie Verhagen back to talk to you about a very special partnership that her and I are doing together. So this is going to be a mini episode, and hang with us and learn how you can get more information about how to do better digital for free, and how you can get more information about how to be a leader in values-driven marketing if that's something that you really want to do. So what our team has been busy doing, besides just growing and working with clients, right, is really building out the resources both on our website and in this podcast, and places where people can get content that we feel like you really need in order to start applying these do better digital strategies in your own work right now, no matter where you are. And what's happened as this season particularly has gone on is people will email me and message me about things that have come up in the episode. They'll ask me things about SEO. They'll ask me things about which platforms that they should use. They'll ask me technical questions. And we're struggling sometimes to get people the answers they need as quickly as we might want them to have them, or to have resources to show them exactly what to do. So we decided to solve that problem by bringing a kind of, I don't want to call it an old school technique because everybody's still doing it. They just call it this, but bringing it directly to your inbox. So if we climb into the Wayback Machine and go back to 2008 to 2010 era when I was first starting my company, I used to send this email out called 2 on Tuesdays, and it was super popular. It's initially how we built the email list that we had around the coaching and business leadership programs that we used to run. And over time, it actually evolved into the first program that we ran on how to use Facebook to market your business. Again, this was 2008 to 2010-ish, and it was a lot of fun to do. And for whatever reason, life, change of direction, we let 2 on Tuesdays kind of fall into the background, and we stopped doing it as we made this transition into digitals. So what we decided to do was bring it back. So in a little bit different form. Instead of saying we're going to give you 2 tips every Tuesday like we used to, we're just going to do a 2-minute email that gives you something that you can apply today to take you down the road to having more success with this do better digital marketing way. So you will learn things like how to write a great SEO meta title and meta description, or how to make sure that your internal links on a blog post are optimized properly, or how to think about applying your values to something like a sales funnel. Quick little actionable tips that you can do something on immediately, and you can read the email in less than 2 minutes. So if that sounds super appealing to you, if you would like a bump every Tuesday to do something about this digital marketing strategy that you've been listening to me talk about over the last several episodes, then I would love to ask you to go to realignyourstrategy.com/Tuesday and get yourself on the list. We will be starting those this Tuesday, which is, I'm going to look at my calendar over there, June 15th, if you are listening to this in real time, and we would love to see you there. Then what we're going to do to make it easier on us when it comes to questions is we will only be answering questions that are submitted from people who are on the 2 Minute Tuesday email list. So that means you've been receiving some of these answers that we're sending you for free. So the questions that you have are probably super valuable in taking us further down the journey of implementing the Do Better Digital way. So I will answer those questions submitted by people who are getting the 2 Minute Tuesday emails on this show about every 6 weeks or so. And that will help us to hopefully make sure that we are on the pulse of what you all really need, and also to kind of deal with the volume of questions and follow-ups that I am receiving by asking that if you want information from us, you kind of come into our world with us a little bit. Now, I want to point out to you what I just did right there, because I had a conversation with a client yesterday about this who has a fairly popular podcast, but doesn't really talk about or ask specifically for somebody to take an action in most of their episodes. So what I just did is I straight up asked you to join our email list. Now, I gave you a benefit, I gave you a why, and I set a boundary saying we're getting a lot of questions of people wanting things answered for free, which is great, and we're happy to do that. But we're going to make sure that in the future, we're only going to answer questions from people who come and engage with us. So I'm straight up telling you what I need you to do. Go opt in to our email list at realignyourstrategy.com/Tuesday. I need you to read those emails once a week so you can advance your Do Better digital marketing path, so you can get better results with your digital marketing without compromising your values. And if you do that and you have a question come up, you can reply to one of your emails or email me directly. And if you're on that list, you're engaging with us, then I will answer those questions live every 6 weeks or so. So I created a container and a nice little boundary. And I'm being straight up about it, right? There are places where you maybe just softly bring people into your lists and your programs and things like that. But I want to encourage many of you to just ask. Instead of beating around the bush or kind of sticking your CTA somewhere, that call to action, and hoping people click on it, I'd love to encourage you, especially in places where your primary followers are people who really like you, like people who follow your podcast, to just ask. Ask people to join your email list. Ask them to buy from you. Be straight up about what it is you need from them to keep giving them this super valuable information that you have, this stuff that they're telling you that they want. That's a different thing than trying to push your product on people. That's a different thing than trying to beg people to join your email list, or worse, to manipulate them into it. Sometimes the best call to action is just a straight up ask. Please do this so we can continue to hang out together. That's what we're doing here today in this little mini episode. We're asking you to go sign up for 2 Minute Tuesdays because we believe it's going to be super valuable for helping you advance your mission in the world. So you can do that at realignyourstrategy.com/Tuesdays. And I just want to tell you before we close out this mini-sode that there are a couple of really important things coming up. And we're going to talk deeply about that next week on June 17th in our interview with Stephanie. Rolling out a program specifically for mature businesses that are at that place where they're scaling from about probably mid 6 figures into the 7 figures. And the owner is starting to come up against this real hard problem, which is the thing that got you here isn't going to get you there. So you have to become a different person, and your organization has to evolve from an owner-driven, personal brand-driven company into a business that serves itself as a separate entity from the owner. We like to think of this as the Get Your Shit Together intensive. This is something that Stephanie and I have done. Well, I'm not going to speak to Stephanie. I don't know how many times she's done it, but I've done it several dozen times over the last decade, where I have been on, run, or designed the strategy for the marketing team for companies doing just this thing. And how you implement systems for sustainability in your strategy is critical to holding that transition in a way that doesn't burn out everyone on your team, especially you. We're going to teach you how to do that. So if you want to learn more about that, I highly recommend joining us next week for our interview with Stephanie. And we're going to tell you some war stories about when we've been in the trenches, if you will, on some of these projects. For the rest of this summer, you're going to continue to get episodes from us about the Do Better Digital Way, as you have for the past month and a half or so. And then we'll be moving back into an interview format after that. And I just want to say that I am so appreciative for the feedback that we get all the time about how these episodes are impacting you. So please let us know how things are going for you. Let us know how you like 2-Minute Tuesdays. Please join us for the Get Your Shit Together program episode next week. In that episode, we're also going to introduce you to a quiz that I am so excited about, that's going to help you assess the mess that you have right now so you can turn it into magic as a 7-figure company. And we're going to also talk to you about why this particular transition point is so important to us, and why we have a particular passion for helping people at that point, and think that there is a broke ass hole in the coaching and business development industry for helping people at that point in a way that feels awesome. So please join us for that episode. All right. What is making us so passionate about this Do Better Digital Way? Why am I willing, when I haven't been in the past, to come to a mini episode like this and just straight up ask y'all to get on our email list? Well, it's because what we are really seeing as we come out of pandemic mode is this beautiful transformation for companies that are in this work. I'm really excited about what I'm seeing happening with our clients and what I'm seeing happening for us. And at the same time, there's this real tension point that is weighing really heavily on my heart, which is this feeling like a lot of us are working really, really hard. A lot of us are working pretty much all the time. And a lot of us are feeling like we're on a hamster wheel going from launch to launch to launch, from pitch to pitch to pitch, from total burnout to chaotic work levels, from catatonic on the couch to working 20-hour days. And I thought last spring, as we were all slowing down, or I shouldn't say all of us, those of us that are privileged to work remotely in the digital space, we're all slowing down because of pandemic life, that maybe we were making a real switch, that we were stepping into the next stage of our evolution. But what I saw coming into the winter and spring of this year is that actually what happened for many of us is that the pace actually picked up. It became more frenetic. It became less easy to bear. And instead of like learning the lessons that we learned from a slower pace the year before, learning the lessons that we learned from spending more time inside, whether it's literally indoors or inside of ourselves, actually caused a boomerang, or not a boomerang, a rubber band style reaction, where we ended up going way back the other direction and being out, trying to do. Yes, shatting all over ourselves. Or trying to launch to compensate. And so I am feeling like this talk about a sustainable, values-driven marketing strategy has to move beyond talk for all of us. I mean, we haven't just been talking about it, we've been doing it. But, for us as a community, it has to move into action. We have to get out of this place where we think the only way to do things is to go really, really, really fast all the time. I feel that pressure just like I did in season 1, way before pandemic, really piling up again. And so I am super committed and super passionate to getting as many people on this train as possible now so that we can have sustainability as a community. Because the frenetic pace of pre-pandemic life is not one that I am willing to take back. And I hope you're not either. So giving you another way, that's our work in the world right now to serve that long-term vision of helping all companies lead their marketing in a values-driven way. So if you want to be on that train with us, I'll say it one more time and then I'll let you go. Please go to realignyourstrategy.com/Tuesday and sign up for 2-Minute Tuesdays. We are super excited to see how this format works for you and to get your feedback. And we are loving the way the tips and strategies are developing as we have to think about how to give you something that you can take action on in just 2 minutes. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that and how those strategies worked out later, maybe in next season. Thank y'all for sticking with me for this minisode that had a sales pitch in it. See, we can do hard, difficult things together. We'll be back next week with Stephanie to talk about all the best and worst things that we've ever seen online companies doing as they are scaling from 6 to 7 figures and how we can help you get your shit together. We'll see you next week.